What happens when the world's most talked about woman steps onto a stage? Fully prepared, only to face an unexpected rejection so powerful that it's impossible to ignore? Meghan Markle's speech at the 2025 Invictus Games was meant to be a defining moment, a chance for her to prove herself as a leader in her own right. But instead of applause, she was met with something far worse, a walkout that sent shockwaves through the audience and across the globe. Why did this happen? Was it a statement, a protest, or simply a sign that Meghan's charm has finally worn off? In this video, we'll dive deep into the moments that led up to this shocking event, the public reaction, and the media frenzy that followed. We'll break down how a single speech turned into one of the most talked about disasters in Meghan's career and what it means for her future in the spotlight. So, grab your seat and let's unravel the drama behind this unforgettable night, because what happened next will leave you questioning everything you thought you knew about the Duchess of Sussex. The Invictus Games 2025 was meant to be a celebration of resilience, strength, and the indomitable spirit of veterans, an event where stories of courage and sacrifice would take center stage. But instead of the usual triumphs and uplifting moments, the 2025 Games became a platform for something else entirely, a spectacle that overshadowed the heroes of the event. And at the center of it all was Meghan Markle. Why did this happen? How did a well-rehearsed speech from a prominent figure, prepared for months, turn into an unprecedented disaster? Meghan Markle, ever the lightning rod for controversy, stepped onto the stage at one of the most anticipated events of the year, hoping to further solidify her place in the world stage as a speaker and advocate. But instead of receiving the applause she anticipated, she was met with something unexpected, a walkout. It was not just a few attendees leaving. It became a wave of exits, signaling something much deeper than mere disinterest. Was it a silent protest? Was it a sign of apathy toward Meghan herself? Or did the event simply expose deeper issues with her role in public life? This moment wasn't just an embarrassing episode for Meghan. It had ramifications beyond the stage. The way the world reacted to this walkout, how the media quickly latched onto it, and the speed at which the conversation evolved reveal a startling truth. Meghan Markle's influence and public perception are at a crossroads. She has spent years crafting an image of resilience, activism, and a voice for the marginalized. Yet, on that stage in Vancouver, none of that mattered. The question now is, what happened? Why did the public, the very audience she was trying to inspire, reject her in real time? Let's rewind a bit. For those of you who may not be entirely familiar with the Invictus Games, it's an event that Prince Harry founded to honor and showcase the strength of wounded veterans from around the world. It's deeply personal for him, a project he poured his heart into from the very beginning. These games were supposed to be about the athletes, the veterans, and the people who have served and sacrificed for their countries. And in the years before 2025, they had been. The games grew in prominence with each edition, traveling from London to Orlando, Sydney to The Hague, and now Vancouver. The global attention was already significant, but in 2025, something changed. As soon as it was confirmed that Meghan would be not just attending but delivering the keynote speech, the media frenzy began. And with it, the question arose, why Meghan? Why should she take center stage at an event meant to honor veterans? Critics immediately began questioning her motivations. Was she using this moment to elevate her personal brand? To draw more attention to herself rather than the true heroes in the room? The timing couldn't have been worse. The media already had their knives out for her, ever since she and Harry decided to step back from their roles as senior royals. Each move they made was scrutinized, and each statement they made was dissected. And now, this speech would be her big opportunity to silence her critics. But things didn't go as planned. As Meghan stepped onto the stage, she was met with a mixture of polite applause and awkward silence. She was poised, confident, and dressed to impress, just as she had rehearsed. For the first few moments, the speech seemed to flow smoothly. She spoke of resilience, the importance of standing together in the face of adversity, and the admiration she felt for the athletes and veterans. But as she continued, something started to shift. It wasn't the content of her speech. She spoke about the very veterans she was supposed to be uplifting, but it was her presence that felt off. The room was uncomfortable. The polite applause dwindled into uneasy murmurs. And then, one by one, people began to leave. At first, it was subtle. A few individuals quietly make their way to the exits. But then, the trickle turned into a wave. Entire rows emptied out, and conversations sparked as people stood up mid-sentence. By the time Meghan neared the end of her speech, nearly half the room was empty. What had just happened? How did this moment, which Meghan had carefully crafted for months, go so wrong? The reactions were immediate. The walkout wasn't just a minor incident. It was a statement, one that couldn't be ignored. The media picked it up almost instantly. But here's where things get interesting. The way the story unfolded afterward revealed a deeper truth about public perception, about Meghan's place in the world and the role she plays in events like the Invictus Games. The media didn't just report on the walkout, they dissected it. Commentators weighed in on what it meant. Was it a sign that people were tired of Meghan? That they felt she was hijacking an event that was meant to honor others? Or was it a sign of something even deeper, perhaps a growing indifference toward her? A feeling that her brand of activism and speaking engagements were beginning to wear thin? But here's where the real question lies. Was this walkout really about Meghan herself? Or was it more about the event and its purpose? Critics quickly latched onto the idea that Meghan had somehow detracted from the focus of the event, making it more about her than the veterans it was meant to celebrate. This was a night that was supposed to be about the athletes, the warriors, and those who had fought for their countries. And yet, in the midst of her speech, the focus shifted. Could this have been the tipping point where Meghan's involvement in these high-profile events started to feel out of place? Her critics certainly thought so. They argued that she had used the platform to elevate her own voice rather than honoring the real heroes. On the other hand, Meghan's supporters took to social media, defending her right to be there and speak her mind. They argued that she had every right to be part of the event, to shine a light on the causes that mattered to her, especially the mental health issues facing veterans. They pointed out that the Invictus Games weren't just about the veterans, they were about showing the world how these veterans had overcome adversity. And Meghan, they said, was using her platform to do just that. So, who's right? Was Meghan's speech the right moment for her to take center stage? Or was it an intrusion? The walkout has sparked a firestorm of debate, and it's clear that no one is neutral on the subject. What does this moment really mean for Meghan Markle's public future? Is this the beginning of the end for her role as a global advocate? Or is it simply a temporary setback, another moment in a career that has been defined by controversy? Here's the thing. This wasn't just about the speech. It wasn't just about the walkout. This moment was a turning point in Meghan Markle's public life. It highlighted how public perception can change in real time. For years, Meghan has been a figure at the center of constant scrutiny. But in that moment in Vancouver, we saw something different, real-time rejection. And that's something that no amount of media training or PR spin can easily fix. In comparing this to past events in Meghan's career, there's a distinct shift. Before, even when there was a backlash, she managed to turn the narrative in her favor. But now, as the world watched this play out in real time, there was no immediate way to spin it. It wasn't a tabloid headline or a misquoted interview. This was the audience itself making a choice that will now define how Meghan is perceived moving forward. So, where does Meghan go from here? Can she recover from this moment, or is this a sign that her influence is waning? The public is watching closely, and the media is hungry for the next chapter of this saga. As Meghan reflects on the events in Vancouver, she's left with one question. Can she command a room again? Or has the public moved on? As we wrap up this analysis of the 2025 Invictus Games and Meghan Markle's unexpected moment on stage, one thing is clear, the walkout was more than just an embarrassing incident. It was a reflection of deeper issues at play. Was it a sign of public fatigue with Meghan's constant presence in high-profile events? Or perhaps a misplaced expectation that these moments should solely focus on the heroes, not the speakers? The way this moment unfolded leaves us questioning what it means for Meghan's public image moving forward. Has she truly lost her ability to command attention? Or is this just a temporary setback in her ongoing journey? But this is where I want to hear from you. What do you think? Was this walkout justified? Or was it a case of unfair scrutiny? Do you believe Meghan can bounce back from this? Or is her public career at a tipping point? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And let's get the conversation started. And if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to our channel for more insightful analyses on the royal family, the latest scandals, and everything in between. You don't want to miss what's coming next. Hit that notification bell and stay tuned for more videos that dive deep into the most talked about events. Thanks for watching.